don't know about you, but today's gospel passage is pretty challenging. Jesus says to us today, anyone who does not renounce all of his possessions cannot be my disciple. Anyone who does not renounce all of my possessions cannot be my disciple. I don't know about you, but that's a lot. Renouncing all of my possessions. I mean, that seems like a big deal. A few weeks ago, I preached about running from here to San Antonio. The journey from here to San Antonio can be broken down into one step a day. We don't have to do it all overnight. So I just want to make a proposal today. I know that renouncing all of your possessions may sound like a lot. So let me just ask you a question. Raise your hand if you're open just to renouncing one possession. Like, does that sound, I think that sounds pretty reasonable. Like, I could renounce one possession. I could renounce one thing in my life. And let me make a proposal to you. I want to just give a suggestion of the one possession that you renounce. What if today you renounce your iPhone? It's just one possession. What if today, in the name of Jesus Christ, you renounce your phone? Why am I saying this? Well, this weekend, in fact, at 4:30 in the morning today, Pope Leo XIV canonized a young man, Carlo Acutis, 15 years old, who died of leukemia. Carlo Acutis, canonized today, now Saint Carlo Acutis. Saint Carlo Acutis, I truly believe, is going to be a saint that we are going to hear a lot about for the rest of our lives. That's why we had 104 people that watched the canonization live this morning at our Carlo Acutis lock-in. But Carlo Acutis is going to be known, I think, for mainly like two things. I think there's going to be like two main points. Number one, his radical love for the Eucharist. When Carlo Acutis was 8 years old, remember, his parents were not believers. He was raised by his nurse, his nanny/housekeeper, who taught him the faith. When he was 8 years old, he made his first Holy Communion. And from the day that he made his first Holy Communion, he then, from that day forward until he died at the age of 15, did a daily holy hour and went to daily mass. I mean, imagine an 8-year-old who's like, Mom and Dad, I'm going to go to daily mass every day, and I might spend an hour in silent prayer with Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. But that's what Carlo Acutis did, his love for the Eucharist. And then when he looked at his peers, his classmates, he was like, they don't love the Eucharist. I need to do everything I can in my power to get my friends to love the Eucharist, which then leads to the second point of Carlo Acutis. Carlo Acutis engaged technology. He made websites, he learned how to code, he played video games. But what's interesting about his engagement with technology is that Carlo Acutis, even at a very, very young age, knew he needed to be highly guarded. So Carlo Acutis would actually set alarms to turn his computer off so that he wouldn't spend too much time coding or building his websites. He would play video games with his friends, but he would say, we're only allowed to play one video game, and that's it. His love of the Eucharist and his love of Christ taught him virtue, which led him leave a guarded life with technology. So let's go back to renouncing all of our possessions. And my suggestion to just renounce your cell phone. Because you see, I think we need to start with this. And this might be the first time that anyone's ever said this to you. My brothers and sisters, your phone is not a phone. Please repeat after me. My phone is not a phone. My phone is not a phone. You see, for those of us who are of like my age, we remember what a phone actually is. A phone was like a 9-inch by 3-inch box that was attached to the wall, normally in the kitchen, and there was a wire that was attached to it that had curly cues, and then there was this thing that you put to your this was the receiver that you like put onto your ear and your mouth at the same time, and it was like curved. That's a phone, okay? At your public high school or at the shopping mall, there would be phones attached to brick walls, and that cord was not curly-cued. That cord was like a metal cord. That was a phone. What you have in your pocket right now is not a phone. It's not a phone. And in fact, any of the young men that are in my sanctuary right now, I can guarantee you don't use what you call a phone as a phone. Millennials don't even set up a voicemail box because they never talk on their phone. But what we call a phone, we think it's a phone, but it's not a phone. So you might ask the Father, what is it? Oh my gosh, well, this is amazing. So I don't know if you've ever heard about frogs. And like if you wanted to have frog legs for dinner tonight, this is how you could cook your frogs. You could boil a pot of water, and the water is like boiling, and it's just like boiling. And then you take your frog and you put it into the water. But the frog isn't stupid. So the frog realizes the water is boiling and it jumps out instantaneously. You're going to really struggle if that's how you're going to try to cook a frog. So let me give you a hint. This is how you actually cook a frog. You take a pot of lukewarm water and you put your frog in it. And you allow your frog to just swim happily. And it's singing Rainbow Connection with Kermit the Frog. It's having the best of times. And then you put that pot of water onto the stove and you slowly turn up the heat. And that frog will ultimately die. And that's exactly what happened to us. And that's why the world wants you to call it a phone. Because a phone attached to a wall with a really curly Q cord on it, it seems harmless. I mean, what exactly is that phone going to do to me? That phone is never going to possess me. That phone is never going to enslave me. I want to tell you what your phone is. And this is what has happened overnight, and none of us have actually really cared to pay attention. Because it all seemed like it was a great move in the right direction. Your phone is the entirety of Blockbuster Video. Your phone is the entirety of the library. Your phone has an encyclopedia in it. Your phone is a camera and a film developing department. Your phone is the bank. Your phone is a flashlight, it's a movie theater, it's maps, it's shopping, it's the white pages and the yellow pages, which no longer exist. It's all of your vinyl records, your audio cassette tapes, and your 8-tracks. It's your calendar, it's your newspaper, it's your map, it's your weatherman, it's your post office, it's your personal trainer, your gym, and it's every board game that you ever had. I want you to imagine just for a moment that it's 1985. This is an image, and I just want you to wrestle with this image with me for a second. So I want you to imagine it's like 1985 or maybe like early 1990s, and someone's like, hey, did you hear about this new robot? Now, when I say robot, I want you to think about like C-3PO from Star Wars or Rosie from the Jetsons. And there's like a 5-foot metal drone of some sorts that walks and talks, and you can ask it anything. You can ask it to play music. You can ask it for directions. But then I want you to imagine that this robot that is with you never stops talking. It never stops. And in fact, it lies to you. It never actually tells you the truth. When you ask it the news, it tells you what you want to hear. When you ask it questions about health or fitness or morality, it tells you what the world wants you to believe. And then every now and then, when you're just walking with your robot, it just pulls out a Playboy and shows you naked women or naked men. It shows you images of other people so that you hate yourself and you hate your own body and you have no self-worth or self-esteem. And it just keeps lying to you. And this robot, it's not just like there, like on my left. It actually goes into the bathroom with me. And when I go to bed at night, it like gets under the covers with me. And it comes to the dinner table and it talks the entire time at the dinner table. To the point that none of us even talk to each other anymore at the family dinner table because she's just talking the entire time and she won't stop. I will tell you that if this happened in 1985, we would have put a gun to its head and killed the robot. But because we keep saying it's our phone, and it's just a new app, it's just a new upgrade, we've slowly allowed our lives to become enslaved. Jesus says, if anyone of you does not renounce all of his possessions, he cannot be my disciple. My question is this: is your phone your possession, or does it possess you? And how can you renounce something that possesses you? Until we reclaim who we are as human beings. Now, I know that for some of you, me just even saying, like, I want you to renounce your iPhone, like that, like, you have anxiety right now, and your mind is like, I couldn't do this, this is crazy, he's insane, he's nuts, and I am. So let me make another wager. Let me meet you halfway. What if you renounce your phone in the bathroom? What if you renounce your phone in the bedroom? What if you renounce your phone every time you're with your wife? What if you renounce your phone and say, I will never have a phone at a dinner table, at a restaurant? Who possesses you? And when on earth did we become slaves? And when will we say to the robot that believes it knows everything about you and about me and about what's best, when will we say no? I believe Carlo Acutis is a reminder to every single one of us that we are called to live for Jesus. We are called to live for Jesus Christ, who was a human person, who never had an iPhone, who wasn't plugged in, and who lived a life of joy and freedom and love. And Carlo Acutis, who knew that technology could be used for good, but also knew that it could be something evil. And I believe his canonization this weekend is an opportunity for us to say that we will not be possessed by our possessions, but that we will live as the sons and daughters of God. So let's renounce the things that bring evil into our lives, into our homes, into our marriages, into our families, and let's live lives of Christ. Amen. Amen.